Hello. Here it goes. Okay. So I am in the midst of. No, not in the midst. I'm at the super beginning of a commitment, I guess, that I decided to journey on for a couple of reasons. Mostly because I felt really called to do something that deepened me as a person. Because I felt like my life was getting complacent. But also just because there are changes I feel like that needed to happen in my life that weren't happening because of because of that same complacency, but also because of lack of movement. So I thought, I felt like I needed to fast, which is interesting because where I arrived wasn't really the classic definition of a fast. I thought about what fasting was and what it meant to me. And for me, fasting, when I've seen other people practice it, it's this idea that you give up something that is a necessity, not just something that you want, but something that you need, and that you let through like thoughtfulness and intentional thinking, you let other things into that void of that thing that you need, spiritually and emotionally. So I decided that it wasn't going to be food, just because food and me are stupid. And it wouldn't have, I don't think for me, it wouldn't have had the same effect because of my chronic GERD. I feel like I'm constantly fasting one thing or the other food-wise, so that it wouldn't be anything new, and it also, I just don't know how it would affect me. I'm sorry, my dogs are doing this. This is actually pretty normal for them. I decided that I wasn't gonna change the world around me for these videos. That I was just gonna let my world happen. So I apologize for that. But so guys. Hey. Shh. Move if you don't want her to do it. So anyway, so I decided that I was going to fast something else that I've always needed. And that has been this like sense that I can do whatever I want and that my time is totally mine. I've always had this like deep rooted need to not have routine at all. Like, I think some people are called to routine and they're like, they need it. They're the opposite of me. Like they require routine in order to function, and I'm like the opposite. Mentally, routine causes me anxiety. Like if I feel like things are getting too typical or repetitive, I panic. So as a result, I've kind of created this world, or this, like, the time around me has become like it has to be mine, and it has to fit into my idea of what I want to do with it. And I think that that for me has become a need, and so that's what I'm going to be fasting. And so it's going to look like getting up and doing the same thing for the first hour of my day every day. What I didn't do was restrain what time I have to wake up, but that might change. Who knows? We'll see. The other thing I'm fasting is my need to edit myself. Because another thing that I've always required, and for the same purpose, for my own personal need to not be anxious, I've always required this sense of making sure that people perceive me the way I want to be perceived. And part of that is editing. So as a result, I hate talking to people for the most part, because I feel like I could say the wrong thing at any moment. Because talking for me, I can't edit it. It's not something that I think before it happens. A lot of people can do that. They can think about what's going to come out of their mouth as they're talking. I don't have that ability. So sometimes I say the wrong thing, and I'm even known to say something and then immediately be like, actually, I don't think that, which is, of course, vulnerable in its own way, because sometimes then I feel like embarrassed for saying things that don't make sense. So I'm every day I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do the same thing for the first hour to hour and a half of my day, and then I'm going to blurry, that was weird. And then I'm going to vlog for at least 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna talk without editing, and then I'm gonna share this somewhere, and I don't know where yet, and I don't know how many people are gonna see these, and that doesn't necessarily matter. It's just the practice of it for me. So today, let's see. So my routine, I guess I'll explain my routine so that will make sense. Also, I'm doing this for 28 days because they say that's how long it takes to form a habit. So probably 29. So for 29 days, I'm going to do this. So today I'm just explaining what I'm doing. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. We'll see. But so my routine is this. I'm going to get up, and the first thing I'm going to do is pray, because it's something that is important to me, and that I don't do enough, and that I should always do in the morning to center myself, and I don't. So I'm going to get into the habit of doing that in this time, and I'm going to make it a routine. And then I'm going to do normal, like, get ready hygiene things, like brush my teeth and wash my face. These are things that I typically don't do on a routine basis, and that I don't do at the same time every day. They're not, I might, brush my teeth in the morning one day and then at night another day, because I don't have any routines. I have no routines, including those kinds of things. I wouldn't say that I lack hygiene. I just don't ever have a routine with hygiene like a lot of people do. I think hygiene is one of those things that we're taught to have routine with, and I did not get that lesson. That doesn't take very long, 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to stretch and do some exercise, move about, maybe go for walks, I don't know, but something that's active, and definitely stretching every day is important. And then I'm gonna read something. So today, I read. It's kind of weird. I couldn't find my Bible. I was gonna read my Bible, and then I couldn't find it because it's probably packed somewhere still. And so I went digging through books, and I came up with some interesting ones that I've kind of always wanted to read anyway. And I was like, maybe that's better. So this is one of them. This one. It says, "This is God's world." I don't know if that's going to turn around when it's viewed. But it's actually just a visual book, and it's all about nature. and kind of like how God connects us in that nature and is seen in nature, which was an interesting reminder, I think, today, for me. And then the other book that I read just a very short amount of Teachings on Love by Thich Nhat Hanh, and you can only take so much of that, and especially in the morning, because it's like drinking from a fire hose. But it's beautiful, and I'm really excited about it. I read like maybe 3 pages of it this morning. I'm a really slow reader, so I guess that's okay. Take it slowly. So things that I thought of today in the reading that I did that I think are important for me to kind of recenter my thinking. Hugely I was hugely I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but this book, this is God's World, about nature. It was really grounding in this thing that I forget, this reality, I guess, that we are part of nature and we're connected to that nature, whether we like it or not. There's this, I think, this forgetfulness in human nature that we belong to the earth as well as any other living thing, or non-living thing, and that we're a part of that. And I think it's because we surround ourselves with things that don't necessarily remind us of that. I think that there are these little reminders that if you can find in anybody's home, pictures of the ocean, and those, I think, are small connections to that reality. But I think that we forget that nature is as much a part of us as anything else, and that we're a part of that nature as well, and that when we get disconnected from that and we forget to be part of that we kind of lose connection with spiritual things, because nature reminds us of those. It reminds us of these like deeper things in life that are super important and always there, but that we're not necessarily paying attention to. And I think humans have this ability to get completely lost in the unimportant. And I know for me, when I go into that place, I get anxious and I get negative, because I feel like I'm not connecting. And when I feel like I'm not connecting, I feel like something's missing. And that's not a good feeling. Even when I don't realize that's what's happening. If I stop for even a moment, I recognize that lack of remembering what's important in life, and connecting with nature and with people is, that it's missing and it's hurting me. So that was a good reminder, and I think a gentle nudge to spend more time in nature, whatever that means, whatever that looks like, because there's so many lessons in nature, and just to allow myself to walk in that and be a part of that, and to be quiet in that, I guess, too. Yeah, and then the Thich Nhat Hanh stuff is about love and, letting love and compassion and there's a new word that I learned today that I've never seen before, and I don't know how to say properly. So I read about what's called the 4 immeasurable minds, and those 4 immeasurable minds are, there are a bunch of words in here that I don't know, and I'm probably going to destroy, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Maitri, which is loving kindness, the desire to offer happiness. Karuna, compassion, the desire to remove suffering from the other person. Mudita, joy, the desire to bring joy to people around you and allowing their happiness to bring you joy. And upeksha, this is the word that is new to me, equanimity. Equanimity. It sounds more better. The desire to accept everything and not to discriminate. So it then connects this idea that we discriminate in the way that we love, because we sometimes reserve love for, or compassion or kindness for, just the people that are the closest to us and the people that we kind of like feel deserve it. And so getting to this place where love is at your core, part of that journey is like not discriminating who you love, which is not a new concept to me. And I've had people in my life that practice this like amazingly. But it's definitely something that I can work on, and that I want to learn more about. So I'm excited about this book and about this process. And I'm sorry, this ended up being 17 minutes, and I thought this is only gonna be 10, and then I just like blabbered on for 17 solid minutes, almost 18 now. So yeah, if you did watch this, thanks, and I love you. And Dandy also loves you. Yes, you do love her. And this dog, she understands equanimity. She loves everybody like this, and you should too. Say goodbye, Dandy. We love you. Bye. Dandy, look at it.